Hey guys, I'm Anthony from the Culture Cave. I thought I was going to be doing a Dark Discussions episode ranking dark characters from Season 3 with Conrad. But no, here I am talking about the teaser release and the casting of 1899, Baron Odor and Yontra Friese's next show. I've been buzzing about this since Season 3 of Dark came out. I cannot believe we're already getting some hints and snippets and... a release date has to come soon. Come on. It's already started filming. I think this is going to be late this year. I'm really excited. Can you tell? Okay, so first thing I thought I'd go through my thoughts on the teaser. It is very, very short. It's not much going on. Don't know if we can read too much clues into it yet. Maybe I have a couple of inklings, but there's not much going on. But I'm going to give you my thoughts. Then I am going to give you a full rundown of all the casting that's been announced. And a lot of it has been confirmed through newspaper articles as well as Baron Odor's Instagram as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before we get into that, can you please subscribe to The Culture Cave if you want to follow my journey on the lead up to 1899. I will be covering it extensively when it comes out. As well, Conrad, who's not going to watch it, he's not going to binge it, I am, and then we're going to go through episode by episode on the After Dark podcast, and he's going to try and weave his way through what I can only imagine is a mysterious, crazy show. Thanks very much, guys. I'll get into the video now. So the teaser itself is a long, slow, ominous shot moving towards the boat itself that 1899 is set on. There are various voices that can be heard, some of which are in another language, and some of which are in English. So I could make out the English ones, but maybe not the ones in the other language. So if you heard what they said in other languages, let me know in the comments below. Because again, this is a multilingual, multi-national cast, so we'll have to look out for that. There's going to be a lot I don't know until we get subtitles. So, we had hola, hello, and then we also had... I think an English voice must be Emily Beecham's character, who we'll talk about a bit later on as well, saying, "What happened here?" And then there's also, I think the same voice, maybe a different English voice, says, "This can't be real." So we have stuff here. Obviously, these characters are very intrigued or very sort of freaked out by what they're seeing. So this really lends into the idea that this is going to be like a horror set on the boat. Now, we know, based on my previous videos, if you haven't seen them, I'll link them in the description, talking about 1899. We know that it's about a ship that comes across a second ship. Now, we've already started theorizing that, well, I've already started theorizing that maybe it's the same ship again, and it's actually like a ship of them in the future, all sorts of things like that. This can't be real. That would definitely sort of lean into that idea. Again, we'll have to wait and see till we get more clues about the show. We don't know what it's going to be about. But God, guys, I'm excited, right? Really excited. Okay, so next up, we have 31 seconds into the teaser, if you want to go and listen to it, there's a really interesting noise. It sounds a bit like a lightsaber. That's how I'm describing it. Actually, I'll play it right now. Okay, so that noise. That is not something which sounds organic to me. It doesn't sound like something that would be on a boat. It sounds to me like some sort of rift or some sort of supernatural aspect coming in. Knowing these creators, that probably is going to happen, let's be honest. I think this ship isn't just going to be a random other migrant ship. It is going to have some supernatural thing around it. And that noise almost pretty much confirms that to me. So that noise, it's really intriguing. It really... I don't want to say time travel. I don't want to say time travel because, you know, guys, we know... I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute, but I think this noise confirms there's something supernatural going on. Tell me what you think about it. In terms of the overall teaser, I thought it was really good, really great atmosphere. I think they're going for a much darker tone, no pun intended. I think this is going to be a very horrific show. I think it is being marketed as a horror. Which obviously Dark was not. That was more of sort of a drama, romance, thriller in a way. Whereas this is being marketed as a horror. So I think they're going to go deeper. I think they're going to go to more horrific tones with this show. So yeah, I think that we have to look out for clues in that regard. Definitely seem darker. Really cool, really cool. Okay, so next up, in the description of the teaser that I watched of the Netflix UK and Ireland YouTube channel, it says, so there's maybe some things we can glean from this. It says, the creators behind the award-winning German series Dark, which received praise and excited fans around the world, me included, have kicked off production of their next highly anticipated show, 1899. Yes. The 8 episodes follow the mysterious circumstances around the voyage of an immigrant ship from Europe to New York. Interesting they're saying Europe. Obviously, we know that it's going to be very Europe-centric in terms of most of the characters come from Europe. There's a few from Asia. Don't know if there's going to be an American. I'm not sure about that. But a lot of them are European. Now, we had said before that the ship is going to go from... The ship had been said before to be going from England. So whether that still is the case or not, I'm not sure. I would assume it is. But obviously... It's more of a European thing they're going for, so that's that. The passengers of all different backgrounds and nationalities are united by their hopes and dreams for a new century and their future abroad. Okay, so all things we've talked about before. The first episode might have a little bit of the Titanic feel, you know. You'll never forget you, that sort of thing. It might have that sort of thing, the more sort of waving on the boat. It might actually be a bit more melancholic than that, but we'll wait to see. When they discover a second ship adrift, so that's sort of confirming that again, on the open sea that had gone missing for months. Oh, okay, so this is a ship that's gone missing. So maybe the whole future self, maybe my theory's out the window here. I'll have to think a bit more about it. Their journey takes an unexpected turn. What would they... Okay, so this is the interesting part that I read, that I want to read to you. What they find on board will turn their passage to the promised land into a nightmare-like riddle, connecting each of the passengers' pasts through a web of secrets. That's really intriguing to me. So this ship has been missing for months, apparently. It's a nightmare-like riddle. The word riddle, we know these creators, guys. The fact that this word riddle is being used gets me really excited. There's going to be a lot to unpick. I really hope that this is like another 3-season show. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they would be aiming for more than 1 season. So I don't think we're going to get all the answers in the first season. But it definitely is sparking my interest really well. It's really sparking my interest. So awesome. So also the passengers are going to be connected through a web of secrets. Well, we know certain other characters in a certain other show were connected through a tree of secrets, I suppose, a tree of something, you know. So there was connections there. I don't think they're going to go the same route as that, but it really does bring into question this second boat. If it's going to go into the characters that we know, it makes me think that the boat is going to have some relation to the characters that we know and some relation to the boat that we're already on. So it does lead me to believe it being a different version of the same boat. Possibly, possibly not, but we'll see. We'll see going forward. So, now, second part of the video. That was the teaser. Very excited. I'm going to go watch it another 100 or so more times. There was also a post on Baron Broder's Instagram which revealed this picture. And this picture actually... And he on Baron Broder's Instagram as well, he put a big list and he added a load of different actors. So we now know the actors and the cast that are in the show. So... One thing I want to say for starters, now Dark was a very, very ensemble-based show, okay? We know that. Having said that, if you look at all of the posters and all of the material, it's very Jonas and Marta-centric. It is focusing on the story of those two people. Now, from what I've heard Baron Broder and Jonas Fries talk about, they want this show to be a metaphor for Europe in a way. And what they've said recently in an interview, which I'm going to be covering in a video later this week, what they've said recently in an interview would lead me to believe that they mean sort of more of a modern Europe and what's happening to Europe maybe in the last few years or even currently. So because of that, the idea of it being Europe is very much a part of this show. So the ensemble itself, all these Europeans and the idea of it being a metaphor for Europe is the most important thing rather than just one character. Now, maybe we'll watch the show and maybe one character will come to the forefront. Emily Beecham is definitely sort of being marketed in the front of the picture, but I don't believe that it's going to be a show which does focus in on one. Interesting, though, that they've managed that they've actually said this is an ensemble from the beginning, because in Dark we know, as I said, they didn't do that. So let's go through them now and say who's who in this cast. So first of all, obviously we've got Baron Broder and Jonas Fries themselves, the writers. Baron Broder is going to be directing. I'm sure Jonas Fries will get the writing credit as well. And that is... They're not going to be in the show. They're the creators, so that's them. Also, later in the week, I'm going to remind you, I'm going to be doing a video on their most recent interview that they've done in a German publication. So I'm going to be talking about that later in the week. So, Jose Pimentel. Jose, I think he's Portuguese, so it's Jose Pimentel. Here he is. He has been in Alberto, Eva, a few other things as well. He's from Portugal, so we're already getting that European flavor in there. he's clearly playing a priest. So we know that Dark has had priest characters before. Well, characters be like, wearing priest clothes anyway. And actually, I suppose he was doing some priest things, Noah, in Dark. So priest in this episode, very interesting. That really brings in, and we'll remember this for later because there's another character later on in this list that makes me think something as well. But it brings in the idea of taking a religion to America and going to preach and going on a mission, I suppose, to preach. Very interesting because there might be some cultural differences then between the different families and the different nationalities, because obviously this priest would be very sort of spiritual or very, very, very defensive of his own culture in a way, So I'm interested to see how that adds up with him being amongst all these other different cultures. Is he going to be trying to convert people on the thing? Is he going to have a different sort of way about him? Interested about this character. I'm not going to say too much about each one, but that first one struck me. Okay, so this is the next scene. Next bit across. So we've got four new actors here playing different characters. We have Matilda Olivier, and we have Jonas. Sorry about these names, guys, if I'm mispronouncing them. They're from all different countries in Europe, so I'm probably not going to be great. We've got Jonas Blanquet. We've got Jan Gael. I think it's. I would say Gail. Again, tell me in the comments. And we've got Miguel Bernardo. So these are four more characters. We'll go one by one. We've got Matilda Olivier, and she's from France. Again, another European in the mix here. Been in things like Overlord and Boss Level before. Never seen too much of her, to be quite honest with you, so I don't know what we're going to expect in terms of the performance. I like the costume. I'm thinking in the next week or two to get Emma, my wife, who's a costume worker in the film industry, to break down these costumes with me and sort of talk about what we think each character might be like based on the costume choice, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, French character. Good stuff. Next up, we got Miguel Bernardo, and he's from Spain. Looks like he's got a bit of money about him, doesn't he, already? He's got the tan suit on. He was in things like Caronte. He was in Filth for Netflix. So if you want to see him, pretty easy to go see that one. It's on Netflix. Filth. I've never seen it, but I might catch it. Give it a go. Oh yeah. So I wonder what type of character is he going to be. He gets a seat. Not many of them get a seat. He seems like a big high roller. Definitely. Jan Gael. He's from Cameroon. Now, obviously, Cameroonians speak French, so maybe he is playing a Frenchman. We don't know where his character will be from. And he's been in things like Rêve Français et Toujours Nous Marcherons. Sorry about the pronunciation again, guys. Never seen this actor before. Interesting. It's one thing that we have talked about, having different cultures in the show. We said that in Dark, because of, I don't want to spoil Dark, but because of where Dark sort of ended up, it was sort of important that a lot of the characters had the same race. It's cool to see someone of a different race, different culture coming into the Baron Boda and Yoncha Freeze world. So I'm interested to see how that goes and what type of character that is. Whether they'll deal with real life consequences of being a black man at that time. I assume they will. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle that. Jonas Blanquet. He is probably in some of the most well-known things out of anyone. He's done The Nun. He's done Valerian, which is a film I watched not long ago on the Best Movie Podcast ever. And he's from Belgium. So will he be actually playing a Belgian man? Will he be part of the French crew? He is standing next to, in the picture, he is standing next to Matilda, who's French. So maybe he's going to be playing a Frenchman in this. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to wait and see. He looks quite well-to-do as well. He does look like maybe he matches Matilda a little bit. But again, we'll get Ema. And he's also, as you can see, holding a wedding ring. Now, I'm sure Ema would want me to wait for her to analyze this, but it already looks like he's holding a wedding ring like this. It looks like he's contemplating possibly cheating on his wife. So I'm gonna predict, based on him holding his wedding ring, and he's looking at Miguel Bernardo as well. Am I reading too much into this? That potentially he is going to be questioning his sexuality, and possibly he fancies Miguel, the character Miguel plays, and he's he's being sort of he's unfaithful to his wife. That's sort of what I don't know. I'm really just going out on a limb here, for no real reason here. But he's holding his wedding ring. It's making me think of things already. He's looking at that character. It's making me think things. Maybe Miguel is actually just a playboy ladies man, and Jonas wants to be like that. Who knows? But we can already see things. They're making decisions of how these characters are standing and acting. That's getting me excited. Okay, big thing here. Andreas Pietschmann is back. Andreas Pietschmann was in Dark, one of my favorite actors from that series. He's got a real humanity about him. I love his performance in Dark, and it's great to see him back. Based on the costume, I'm going to assume that he's maybe the captain of the ship. One of them has to be, of course. So the buttons down there would lead me to believe he could be the captain of the ship. We've also got Emily Beecham. So we know that Andreas Pietschmann, from Germany, was in Dark. Not much more to be said about that. If you haven't seen Dark, go and watch it. His character is called Stranger. You don't really find out who he is until sort of a little bit later on. But I don't want to ruin it for you, but go check it out. Emily Beecham. Now, this is probably the big name for the show. But I've actually never really seen her in anything. I'm going to be honest with you. She's in Hail Caesar. She's in Daphne. She's also in a different one about plants killing people. I haven't seen much of her. I think she comes with probably the highest status out of anyone, so therefore we'd expect big things from her. Looking forward to seeing how the character progresses. Okay, next up, we've got Isabella Way, we've got Maciej Musiel, we've got Gabby Wong, and we've got Rosalie Craig. So, Isabella Way seems that she hasn't done much acting. There's no IMDb page I could find, unless it's under a different name. So I'm really intrigued to see how they bring this Asian culture, Hong Kong. I think both the actresses are from Hong Kong, so I'm interested to see what they do in terms of melding that into Europe. Now, if this is a metaphor for real life at this current moment, I'm really intrigued to see what they're doing with this. So I'd like to see. Really intrigued, yeah. So we've also got Maciej Musiel, who's from Poland, and he looks to be playing one of the coal shovelers down underneath in the lower levels of the ship. Geez, I hope we don't get the scenes from Titanic like we did in Titanic, where the doors were closing and they were stuck down there. That was horrific in itself. He's been in The Witcher, which you'd expect. He's from Poland, so there was a few Polish actors in that. Obviously, the author is originally from Poland in that book, and 1983 as well on Netflix. Both on Netflix, so go check them out if you want to see more of him. Gabby Wong. You see the picture there? She was in Rogue One as one of the plane flyers. She was also in Aliceville. She's been in a few things, actually. She doesn't have a huge acting career, but she's in a few things. So she goes along with Isabella Way there as a part of the Hong Kong contingent of the show. Looking forward to seeing more about them. Okay, so Rosalie Craig now from the United Kingdom. She seems to be more of a stage actor than a film actor. She's in London Road, yes, but she's also been in the National Theatre Live with in Macbeth. With Kenneth Branagh. Oh, I don't know why I've got a picture of Gabby Wong there. Sorry. So just to sort of show you, she's actually the one sitting here. So in the green dress, that's Rosalie Craig. Sorry about that. I made a mistake. But yes, so I'm interested to see. She looks quite well to do as well. Sort of a bit like Kathy Bates' character in Titanic, possibly. I'm not sure, but possibly. We've got the last of the characters now. We've got Aniran. I don't know that name. He's a Welshman. Aniran Bernard. I'm sure I'll learn that name soon enough. Welsh actor. We've got Lucas Lingard Tonneson. We've got Clara Rossigar. We've got Maria Ervolta, and we've got Alexander Villaume. Again, pronunciation's all off, I'm sure. Anirnan Bernard. I'm going to call him Mr. Bernard. Mr. Bernard's in Dunkirk. He's in the Goldfinch. Welsh actor. Haven't seen too much of him. I have seen Dunkirk. I don't remember him from that, if I'm completely honest with you. But again, good to see a Welsh actor getting a go, and looking forward to seeing him. Now, brings us into the Danish contingent of the show. There seems to be quite a bit. There seems to be a Danish contingent, so there's going to be a fair bit of work around that. I'm interested to see what the Danes are going to be doing in this show. Again, metaphor for real life. We know that all the time when people are talking about... Now, my head's going political. I don't know how else I would read when they say a metaphor for real life. Like, Denmark's healthcare system and things always come into the conversation when people are talking about, national healthcare system. So maybe they're doing something with that. I don't know what they're doing. I think it probably is going to be a political thing, to be honest with you, because otherwise, how do you do a metaphor of Europe at the minute? So I'm interested to see that. Okay, so He's Been in the Rain, which is on Netflix. Check it out if you want to. The Keeper of Lost Causes. Clara Rossiger, she is also in The Rain, and for Froster. I haven't seen that film either. She's pregnant. She's got a gun. She doesn't look like someone I want to mess with. Sort of reminded me of Emily DeRavin in Lost a little bit. Sort of the character she turns into. But I'm interested to see that one as well. Bringing a gun on the boat. Interesting. Already got a Chekhov's gun. Already got one. Maria Ervolta, she was in The Ritual in Rig 45. Again, part of this Danish group. And she is next to Alexandre Villaume. And now, this guy was in Equinox and Tomb Raider. If you've seen Equinox, I did do a review on the channel of it. It was seen to be the next Dark. It's not the next Dark. Funny enough, this guy is actually in what could be the next Dark. So, interested to see him in this. He was very good in Equinox, very menacing. So I'm interested to see if he does the same thing. Now, I will say, if you look back at who I assume is his wife, by the way the picture's been taken, Maria Ervolta, she's holding a little book that I assume is a Bible of some sort. He's also looking a bit pilgrimy, yeah? So I'm really interested to see whether or not we're going to get some tension between the priest and Alexandra. I'm really looking to see if we're going to get some religious tension as well in this show. It's a metaphor for real life, so potentially they will do that. But yeah, so that's that, guys. I hope you're just as excited as I am for this show. I am really buzzing for it. As I said, I'm going to be back with another video talking all about the interview that Baron Bodor and Jan Fries have done. I'm going to be back talking about that later in the week. They give it a lot of information in that interview, and I can't wait to go through it with you. Jeez, I didn't think we'd be starting this already for this show, but we've got a teaser. I can imagine in a few months we'll have a proper trailer. Oh, this is just great, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited for it? Give the video a like, and if you want to follow my journey with 1899, subscribe to the Culture Cave. We're going to cover it on the After Dark podcast eventually, but until then, you get me, my crazy theories, and my analysis, and just my excitement. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you later.